Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Wild Chats, your home for everything animals. I am Ryan. That is Maria. And Maria, what is the most athletic thing you have seen a dog do in person or on TV or both?
Well, the person, well, TV is not a fair thing, but in person,
Okay.
um, every once in a while, I will go to those agility courses and things,
Uh huh.
and it was just a lot of fun. I think my favorite was seeing how far the dog will jump into the water to catch a frisbee. So
Oh,
they will throw the frisbee, and it was usually a border collie or a very athletic dog who will literally just like propel through the air like gliding and try to catch the frisbee, and it was just so much fun.
yeah. There's definitely certain breeds that are more athletic than other breeds. They're like a lot of times they do get used for like militaries or police and stuff like that, just because of that ability. Some of them can leap. What are those like? Starts with an M, like Malmoys or
Meters,
something like that. That they're really good jumpers. Like their leaping ability is just
malamutes. Are you
yeah.
thinking about malamutes?
I don't know. Malamutes look more like huskies, don't they?
There. I think
It's a muscular dog with short fur, like Malmoys. That's all right. We'll figure it
he
out.
looks like the German Shepherd. He
No,
looks
German
like a
Shepherds
German
have long
Shepherd.
fur. These guys have really short fur, like almost like a pit bull like length fur. It's not a pit bull, but
Okay,
yeah, I think it's a rare breed. I think it starts with an M, like Malmoys or something like that. But that's okay. Um,
that's what I was thinking. They're brown,
yeah, they're brown.
brown with black snouts.
Yeah, yeah, that's the
Yeah, yeah,
dog.
yeah. Those are incredible. They're very smart.
We're on the same page, guys. If you guys aren't, we'll put a photo in the and as we always do, guys. Anything we talk about in the show that we can't show ends up going in the community comments and stuff. So you guys will see it all there. Um, it was
Or just
interesting
search it. Just search it as we talk.
when I was visiting Colombia. I actually found it interesting. Some of the parks, like when we think of a dog park in the States, it's usually just an open area, tennis balls. There's not a lot of like gym equipment or a lot of like when it's a kids park, you're gonna have slides and swings and all those normal things you have at a kids park. But at a dog park, it's usually just an open space for the dogs to run. And I went to a mall, and on the back side of the mall, they had a dog obstacle course. And I thought
Yes,
it was amazing. I'm like, this is like the coolest place ever to like bring a dog, and it's got like stuff for balance and stuff they can run up on and jump. And there's just it was this full course of different skills that different dogs could enjoy. And I just
that
thought
is such a cool thing.
I sat there for like an hour just watching the dogs just run around these courses, and then the big dogs would do it, and then the owners with the little dogs would be like, "All right, let's see if I can get them." The little dogs are like, "Nope, no thanks." But
I know what park you're talking about, and I tried with Pepita, and there is a nice river, and I was always afraid of the dogs just going towards that river because there is like a little, very gentle, slow moving river, but it's like right there. And I was always like, Pepita, let's go into, let's go do something. And she's like,
yeah.
no, thank you.
So today's fun we're gonna have is basically we're gonna do a little Rocky training montage, and
Okay.
after our Rocky training montage, we're gonna get into a little bit of some of the more impressive animal athletes. So
Okay.
a lot of this is very like jumping, leaping base, which is very parkour. So we're gonna basically call the episode Barkour. It's a mix of
Barkour.
barking and parkour. It's Barkour. And this is not a phrase that I came up with. Some of you guys have probably already heard it before. I'm not trying to say I came up with it or steal it, but this is Barkour. But
Okay.
the beginning of Barkour, of any training, if you're an athlete, you got to start. You got to get some agility together, and you got to start young if you can. Because
Yes.
the younger you start, the better off you're
Oh.
going to
Can it get any more? That's not possible to get any more adorable than that.
be. That's impressive, though. I don't know how they
That
got
is
there.
very impressive.
How do
He's
you?
adorable, and look at those ears flying.
And he is
That is just too cute.
like he is focused.
He is focused. And I
Oh,
actually gotta say, I really like how practical that place is with the
it's a constant.
tube.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
no dividers. It's just like a tube, so you don't hit the planters. And
yeah. I
done.
mean, you can see the car at the end. It's just I think it's a valet section though because the car is backed in. But again, I think this takes place in Asia. If you look at the writing on the wall back
I was
there.
just gonna say, I see
Yeah.
writing that is definitely not of the Latin roots.
Well, it's hard to see. I mean, because sometimes you'll have Asian restaurants and stuff that will write in their language, but it's still not necessarily in an Asian country.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was trying to look at her bag. Like
ah,
the lady, that person had a bag, and I was trying to see if I could decipher the bag, but
yeah, because that was the thing. I always kind of wondered with the car stops. It's like they've got a bump, but then they've got an angle. So it's actually easy to roll your car over the concrete car stops. Like, because they look like little pyramids, kind of like the South American or Central American pyramids, more of a flat top, not pointy.
oh,
Um,
okay. So not Ibiza, not
I don't know what pyramids you saw in
Egyptian.
Ibiza, but they were real, Marie.
Why would I say that? Why will I say the pyramids of Ibiza? Like seriously,
Giza, Ibiza, they're real.
Giza, Giza, Giza.
Yeah, that's not. You're good. You were close. You were close. No, but you know the typical American like concrete car stop is just kind of bump and then level, and they're not. You got to accelerate, but when you put like a metal round pole and there's no like, hey, here's a mini ramp, you can kind of start to get your car going up it. I apologize, guys. I am I don't know. I have something in my eye or something, so if I keep
You
doing
see,
that.
you wanted to like take the eyeball out.
No, well, see, they train that gorilla, and then in certain cultures, when you do this is kind of a little bit of an insulting motion. So if there's anybody catching us from, I forget what country it is, but that basically is the version of FU in a certain country. If you do the
I
I,
didn't know that.
it might be Italian or something like that. So I'm not saying that to you guys. I genuinely have an itchy eye. Okay, so I'm not.
Like here, show the video of the puppy again. You can scratch your eyeball off and
Yeah, or it's
be
a gorilla
okay.
crying when they taught Coco sign language. That's the one she used for cry when they told her that her kitten had died, and she did the gorilla cry. It was
They
like,
cry.
yeah,
It's
okay,
adorable.
we're gonna get back to happy. So you got to step
Sounds
it.
good.
So you're working on your agility. You know, this is our Rocky training montage. So you're going side to side on the bar. What comes next?
Okay.
What comes next?
So if I were Rocky training, and the funny thing is, I
For
didn't
parkour.
understand what you kept meaning when you said Rocky training. I'm like, are we talking about rocks? What does this have to do with anything?
No.
And then I realized you're talking about.
You gotta
Anyways,
have
my
training
mind.
in a good athlete film. There's always a training montage. This is ours. This is
Ding,
ours.
ding, ding, ding.
Exactly. No, hold on, that's copywritten. Don't do that. Oh.
Right, you're right, you're right.
Don't sing happy birthday. Either. All right.
So if I were in the eye of the tiger,
Yes.
I would probably try to do jumping. Like jumping should be included on the training.
Okay.
Like
All
high
right.
jumping or
Jumping. So we're working our way up. So Maria has not seen this training montage, but you got it. We need a little jump and balance. Jump and balance.
oh, that was way above and beyond what I was thinking.
Side to side. Now spot to spot. We're working up to it.
That is too adorable.
I didn't even see an owner, but clearly that's probably who's filming it. But he looks so happy.
He really does look adorable. That's pretty cute.
And he's got his
Yeah,
little.
I was thinking actually height training. Like you gotta strengthen your muscles for height training. These guys more like
Well, the parkour is really about like it's the people that jump from roof to roof, and then like if you ever see those really cool chase scenes in movies, that's more parkour. You see like American Ninja Warrior. You've got all the different obstacles and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily one skill or another, and that's the thing. You've got to train for agility, so side to side, jumping balance, spot to spot. But you need a little vertical, but you got to be able to kind of contort your body in midair. Because if you've seen Ninja Warrior, you got to kind of jump and grab rings and
yes.
stuff like that, so you don't fall into the water. All these skills, dogs can do it too. So
I bet they can.
a little bit of rhythm training with a little bit of twisting, because when the obstacles
Samba dancing? Are you trying to say like they can do samba dancing?
No, I just mean more probably that also. But I mean more of like you got to time it right. You got to know when to do it, and then you've got to kind of jump and land and be ready to jump again. So we got side to side, we got spot to spot. Now we're gonna get our our timing torsion. There you go.
Oh,
1, 2 off. 1, 2 turn.
wall pushing, wall pushing.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Oh, but they have like a whole dancing routine
There's
and
your samba
everything.
dancing. I told you you'd get a little samba dancing. It's
Yes,
not,
you did. You did.
but it's
That
dancing.
is so
And ribbons
adorable.
in the back. Are those for the dog? You see the ribbons on the fireplace?
I was just looking at that. They
Uh-huh.
may be for the dog, but I like that red sculpture that looks like a
Oh,
dragon
it's
lion
got a
or
photo of the
probably a
dog.
reindeer. But
I think that's the dog's awards shelf. It's got a photo of the dog. It's got some ribbons.
yep, I see that.
That's pretty impressive. I did not notice that the first time. Like, just the rhythm of her jumping off the shoe and turning and twisting is awesome.
That is pretty adorable. That is pretty adorable.
Uh-huh.
I always enjoy when people record all the production that goes with it because it's not just training the dog, but also where do you do it where people are not distracted by what they're seeing, like
Yeah.
the background. And it's so funny because I was looking at the all those ribbons. I'm like, wow, the dog is really good. But now I'm seeing all these ribbons and thinking the dog is really good. And those are his ribbons.
Those are for the dog. I mean, it could be the equivalent of hanging your kids' pictures up on the fridge. Maybe they've got a child, and that the child's really good at like some instrument or something. Who knows? Who knows?
Maybe spelling bee. I don't know.
Sp- oh God, there was like 20 ribbons. My kid kicks butt. She is a champion. It's spelling.
Spelling bee.
I'm not the best speller. I should probably have some more respect for the what is it? The Scripps National Spelling Bee competition. So I take it back. I actually was in a few of those as a kid. I did pretty well, but for some reason now I can't spell to save my life. But I feel like once you got spell check and Word and all these other tools that we have, it's just like it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing is you can develop agility, in this case, physical agility, mental agility, and still, unfortunately, if you don't keep practicing, then you will completely lose it.
Yeah, I mean, the woodchuck could chuck 5 pieces of wood, and then he stopped practicing, and then when they sung the song again, the woodchuck could only chuck 1 piece of wood. I mean, these things happen. Your
God.
energy runs low, or you don't train enough. You just can't chuck as much.
No, 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 no. The woodchuck will not chuck any wood.
No, how much wood could the woodchuck chuck if he could chuck wood? And then one guy got
No
caught.
wood will the woodchuck wood chuck.
If you continue
Sorry,
this any
sorry.
further, it's gonna make me up chuck. So let's continue.
The woodchuck got out chucked.
Oh, speaking of Chuck, you like that TV show? No, sorry guys, we're not going that route. I love the TV show.
You know what's funny is I almost made a comment about the TV show and I was like, oh no, you better behave now. Like, better behave. And now you make it.
Then we gotta go from Chuck then, and then we gotta take Levi as the actor and get to Shazam, and then for Shazam's, we could get to Super Pets, and now we're back to animals. Have you seen
Well,
Super
we did start it with Rocky. We did
Okay.
start our movie training with Rocky.
True.
So going to Chuck as a spy,
Okay.
and he has to train a ton because that guy was just terrible.
Okay. It was funnier when we didn't explain it. See, a good joke, you don't have to explain it. You just let it
Well,
happen.
but what if people haven't seen Chuck?
If they haven't seen,
Woodchuck chucking wood.
they wouldn't want to admit that. I mean, would you tell anybody you've never seen the show? Like, that's something you keep to yourself. Like I've never left my city, boundary in my entire life. I've never seen. I mean, these are things you don't tell people.
Good point.
Have you seen Super Pets? I know you usually like to wait till it comes out on DVD.
I have not.
Oh, you haven't. I mean, it's only The Rock only does the voice. I know if Rock was in the movie, you'd be there in 2 seconds. But
Yeah.
he's the
Hello.
voice of Crypto, Superman's dog. You don't even know that this movie's out, do you?
I had no clue.
So this is like one of the big movies right now. Not right now. It's a little bit old, but it's it's Crypto, which is Superman's dog, and is voiced by The Rock. And then he
Okay.
ends up with a team of super pets that all have their own individual powers. And there's like a pig and a squirrel and a turtle. And oh yeah, it's great.
I'm gonna have to watch it because that sounds adorable.
The Justice League comes into it too. It's animated, so that's fun. I mean, yeah, it's a great movie.
Is it a Disney movie, Pixar?
It's a. I mean, I assume it's a DC movie because those are all DC characters, so that would fall under that umbrella. So
Okay.
it's yeah. I mean, those are DC's big movies that were coming out this year: is Shazam, Black Adam, and Super Pets.
I'm gonna have to. I know Buzz Lightyear just came out too.
That was good too. I enjoyed that actually.
I haven't seen it yet.
I like the spin they took on it. Was it's a movie about what the toy was. So Buzz Lightyear was a toy, and he was a toy that came from this movie. So what you're watching is the actual movie that the toy was theoretically spun off of.
Okay.
So it is animated, so it feels like it's a little weird, but it would be like us having whatever a Batman figure, and then you would then go see the Batman movie. So it was a really
Okay.
interesting twist on how to spin it together, but it's the Buzz Lightyear movie that the toy was spun off of.
So
So
guys, do not hate me. I've only seen up to Toy Story 2.
I don't know that I've seen much past Toy Story 2 or 3. I like cartoons, but I like the TV show cartoons a little more than I watch
Okay.
like movies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't I don't
Anyway, so when
and
we
then
talk about agility and Parkour,
come on. I was gonna spin it back. We had superheroes. I was gonna work it in to flying and abilities, and then after I got to the, like defying gravity superpowers, we were gonna be here. I had it all
oh, I
lined up.
think that's the dog we're talking about. That's the.
Uh-huh.
It's
That's
not a
what,
Malamute. It's like Malinois or
yeah.
oh,
Malmoys or something like that. But man, look at that guy go. Look at this. And he cheats a little bit, you know.
I
Yeah.
don't think so because even Spider Woman, not Spider Woman, Wonder Woman does that when they say shield and she runs into the shield.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did.
Yeah, yeah.
How else is he gonna get that
The ball.
amazing flight?
Yeah, yeah. I just love that he times it, the spaces it perfectly to get the ball. Like that is impressive.
The
Super.
whole thing is impressive.
Yeah.
The guy who had to tie the ball there is impressive.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. But then you got to rewind the clock so you have a little bit of respect. And this was just 2 years earlier. Year and a half earlier. Oh, wait, hold on. Year and a half earlier. Go. All right. Still about a year. Still
And
about a year and a
then
half earlier. Maybe a year earlier. And then.
Shazam.
So I don't know.
That is impressive. That is amazingly impressive how that dog is doing that. And look, I like how it lands. Like
Mm-hmm.
one thing we have to appreciate is how dogs land. Like they're able to really retract so well so they don't hurt themselves because that was really high. That was almost a floor or more height.
No, that was definitely a story or two up there. And then sometimes that's the
That's what I
other
meant.
angle. As these guys train them, what they end up doing is, God, look at that. But then just exactly to what your point of what you just said, they have someone catch him.
Look at it, look at it, look. Oh, somebody holds him. Oh, like
He's,
slows down the fall. That was very interesting.
mm-hmm.
Like I gotta say, the trust that this animal has to have
Yes.
on their owners,
Yep.
the
I mean,
timing of the body moving, and how the guy, you notice that the guy is not holding the animal. The guy
no,
is just literally.
it's just like gymnastics. You're just helping a little bit, and if they don't end up where they need to be, then you can actually get tense and catch them or stop them. But the dog looked like it was coming back around to actually land in a pretty good position.
Yeah, that was very impressive. That was very impressive.
But as with anything, I mean, joints take a beating even with dogs. I mean, small dogs are notorious for having joint problems just because they were bred down to those sizes most of the time.
That's true. That's true.
That's still super helpful that, like, because this dog, I don't know, let's see. I don't think he gets up as high. Let's see, which dog gets up higher?
Leap wise,
Yes, height above the ground. Who's got more hops? And the one guy gets to cheat off the wall, so it's almost not fair.
I was gonna say this one is actually way more impressive because of the landing.
Yes.
The other one is impressive because he has to trust. It has to trust on the landing. Like you have to trust that they're gonna, and also the body movement as it spins
And that
to
was
prepare
exactly the part
himself
of
to land.
that's why this was in the training regimen. That's exactly what the dog has to do, as he's got to hit the wall and he's got to twist and turn to go get the thing. So you need
Yes,
that bounce and go get.
and then also learn how to land. So to me, the more impressive of between this one and the first one, I don't know, man. This is incredibly beautiful.
I mean, it's hard to land properly. I think he would have landed okay, but to come
Yeah,
off,
but I'm glad that they helped. I'm glad that they helped just to reduce the joint pain, because honestly, after a while, I don't care how athletic you are, that's gonna wear you, wear you down,
yeah,
wear your
there's
body down is what I meant.
exactly.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, what dogs do you think would be set for, like, if you were going to actually do like dog parkour like parkour is definitely different from obstacle courses. Like obstacle courses, like parkour requires a very like extreme set of skills in a lot of different areas. It's not just jumping high. What dogs, other than the couple breeds we thought, can you think of that would be great at that?
So first of all, I have a confession to make.
Okay.
I didn't know what parkour meant. So when
Oh,
you were showing when you posted the title, because that's all I know.
okay.
When you posted the title, I was like, "What is parkour?" And then as you were talking, I'm like, "Oh," because then you gave an example of when people jump from walls to walls. I was like, "Ah," because when
Uh,
you asked me what agility will come up, I said jumping high. You're like,
yeah,
"Oh no, but for this kind of training," and then I understood what you meant.
gotcha.
But it wasn't until then that I knew what you really meant.
Have you ever seen American Ninja Warrior? The show?
Yes, but you didn't explain that until later. Like
Okay.
I mean, it was the whole process became understandable as a. It's like when you read a sentence and one of the words you don't understand, but then by association of the complete sentence or the concept of what's being said, you understand what that word means.
Gotcha. Okay, guys, I'm
Like
gonna
when
just
you're learning English, which is you can clearly tell it's not my first
one
language.
second. I'll let you get right back to it. I just had a flash of my power, so if we lose internet or this episode ends up super short and cut off, that's why. We're gonna keep
Okay.
going, but if we have any
Um,
problems, that's basically what happened. So I want to at least
okay.
kind of go, all right, guys. And there was only one more clip, so we will come back to. We're gonna, you know, what we're gonna end up doing. I'm gonna show this last clip for fun, so we at least get through our clips, and then this will be a little bit of what we do on our backstage, because I
Okay.
didn't know that you didn't know what parkour was, and this is exactly the type of stuff we talk about in our backstage. So they'll get a little piece of kind of how our backstage episodes go. But I want to round out the episode here with this
Just in
last
case.
clip because it is pretty impressive. I would never imagine a husky trying parkour. Huskies are not they're not super agile
Huskies
animals.
are huskies.
They're big, they got a
You
lot of
know.
energy, but they're not super agile. But this husky, he's gonna take on some parkour. Barkour. And not gonna do very well.
Poor baby. That was.
He's hanging on a cat toy.
He hurt himself. You can clearly tell he hurt himself.
I
Did he
don't.
lose a tooth?
I
Hold
need to
on, let me
choose to believe
rewind
he did
something.
not
There is.
hurt himself.
Oh no no no! There was something on the. Oh,
He's like, oh, that didn't go well. No, no.
that dog is gonna need some chiropractic work.
No, Maria. We're gonna choose to believe he's fine. He's just a
No,
little.
I'm sure he's fine. I mean, that's one of the beautiful things about animals.
He tried to parkour his way onto whatever that thing was below him, but I don't think he realized that it wasn't solid. So once he kind of went for it, he was like, "Oh wait, that's not gonna work. Hold on," because he's definitely going for that. It collapses on him, and that's what does him in for the most part.
I am so like when that end scene when he had his mouth open, you can clearly tell that he hurt his perhaps his trachea for a moment.
Ever been like something came out from under you and you're just a little in shock of like, "Hey, wait, what
Yeah,
happened?"
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm choosing
Yeah.
to believe that's what it was. He's just
No,
kind of
I'm
like,
sure he's fine. I mean,
okay,
if I had a dog
okay,
and something like that happened and it became an actual emergency, I wouldn't even show the video.
yeah, oh, that's a good point. That's a very good
So
point. Okay.
yeah, so most of the times, my opinion, or at least I choose to believe, that when I see like America's Funniest Videos and things like that, and they show fails,
Okay.
I assume that if you're showing that video, like it's your video, I
Yeah.
will actually assume that the animal or the person is, they're
Okay.
okay.
That's fair.
Otherwise, I wouldn't show the video because I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's the time there was a crime committed, or
Gotcha.
something really bad happened, and I just wouldn't show it.
Okay. So basically, to kind of round back, I didn't mean to cut you off, Maria. I just once we had the power flash, and then I know internet can get wonky sometimes. I want to. I just find that now I feel guilty that I found that video so funny. Like I wasn't. I was thinking the dog was just a little like, okay, that shook me up. So I found it hilarious. Now you've got me feeling guilty, unfortunately. I do
Well,
this to
you
my
saw me jumping. I about just jumped out of my seat.
I do this to my mom on occasion. Like I point something out that I like care, and then she didn't think about it that way, and then she feels guilty, and then I feel guilty that I made her feel guilty because I'm like that wasn't my intention. That wasn't no way directed towards you or anything that you just did. I just oh so basically, guys, just a little bit of a recap so we can kind of get back onto that conversation. If Maria for the first 10 minutes of the video looked like this, it's because Maria was trying to figure out what parkour was because she had no idea. She's seen parkour, she's seen the movies and the clips of people bouncing off stuff and balancing on things, but she didn't know what the phrase was. And I think I took something for granted. The fun part of these videos is Maria doesn't get to see what the clips are, so we get a general reaction. But now I know in the future I'm going to have to explain the titles to her because she might not even know what I'm talking about.
No, the best part is that I don't have a clue. So you actually get a genuine reaction once I get the
Like training regiment and then following through on the abilities. I feel like you were missing like 25% of like the whole package when you were kind of going, oh, okay, I was jumping. Oh, off a foot. Oh, Ninja Warrior. Oh, wall.
No, I think eventually I connected it quite. I think
Clip 12 minutes into the video. Oh, now I watch this video for that moment where your eyes light up and you go, oh, I know what parkour is.
the funny thing is, you were mentioning in the past how sometimes your brain doesn't connect the different things.
Yes.
And you were talking about training, and you were talking about Rocky, and you were talking about, so
But
I
that's not
understood I understood the concept of circuit training. So I
okay.
took it as circuit training, and I actually didn't distinguish between agility and parkour. To me, they're basically the same. So it didn't not make sense. It's just that I didn't understand why you kept referring to them as two different things when I
Okay.
understood agility as the base of it. It's just parkour is a more specialized form of agility.
It's strength, agility, obstacles, stuff that's kind of impossible for most humans to know how to fall. We had talked about that before, but you have to know how to kind of tuck and roll off of things. And you see the movies where people jump from building to building and stuff. Yeah, that's very typical parkour. But here's what I want now, because this will be fun. In the comments, guys, I want you to write the moment you think Maria finally realized what parkour was. There's got to be a look on her face.
Yeah. I was just about to ask you guys the same thing.
Oh, I got it. Oh, I knew it this whole. Now I know what I've been talking about for 15 minutes. I want that moment time coded in the comments because that's going to be hilarious.
No, this is in no way, shape, or form being taken as Maria doesn't know or not. This is not about stressing me out. Like none of this, guys. In case any of you ever feel like, oh my gosh, we're making fun of Maria. No, you're not. Because honestly, I think this is the beauty of forming a community, that we realize that I don't understand all the time everything people say. Like
Yeah.
when I watch a movie, especially if it's a movie that has a stronger accent I'm not familiar with, other than perhaps Midwest or California, I sometimes do not understand it. And it's not there's nothing wrong with it. It's just part of the fun. So I usually put closed captions at the
But
bottom of movies so I can actually get the whole concept.
But
So
parkour is
it's
a
perfect.
specific phrase that unless you're part of that world, some people don't know what HIIT is. Like if you're not part of that exercise community, you don't know what high intensity interval training is. Or there's a lot of phrases that I don't think it's a language thing at all. But if you guys ever want to have fun, some people I guess on their stuff do like movie nights. I'm not sure what this is, but everybody watches movies with the creators. So we were debating doing a movie night, and after this moment, now I know what we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch Doctor Who with Maria. Because
Yes.
English accents in Maria are always fun to see her try to spill through them, because even I have a hard time with like a Scottish accent. It's kind of the same with Maria listening to English accents. So I'm not sure.
The problem is, this is the face. This is the face you're gonna see most of the time in the movie. That's the face.
But
So
I'm
it's
sure.
gonna have to be something I'm better at understanding that, because that's gonna be the face the whole time. Like,
Okay, okay. So maybe
yeah.
not as entertaining as I would think. You'll just look like somebody trying to look in the opposite direction of somebody's peephole in the door. I always love that in a movie when someone's on the other side of the door and they're like trying to look through the peephole. That works the other way. That's for the people inside the house.
The way I took it as a in the puppy world, and since I always think of animals as the main thing, the main theme on my in my head on my head in my head is when the puppies are understanding, they're like, so that's how I usually watch Doctor Who.
Oh man.
No, my favorite thing, and again, this is more like a peek of what you see in backstage, but like my mom, I will put a movie that nowadays almost everything has translation, so you can actually read in many, many languages whatever is being said in the original. And many, many years ago, it wasn't that normal. So
Yeah.
I will just put a movie. I will just leave her, like I'll go to work or whatever, and I'll just leave her with several choices of movies, and or just a streaming access to just whatever she wanted to watch. And I will ask her, what was your favorite movie? What was it about? What did you understand? Oh my gosh. The woman will come up with the weirdest things, and it was hilarious.
You're like,
Like,
that's a
mom,
new movie. We're selling that script.
actually, that's what I thought a couple of times. Like, as I mentioned, I think in the last video, that my mom will tell us versions of bedtime stories. And
Mhm.
I'll be like, no, no, that's not what Red Riding Hood was wearing that day.
Uh-huh.
Or this is not. Anyway, so it's just hilarious. It was hilarious to hear her tell me what she understood.
Yeah. So Patreon subscribers, we will not be doing. We do a backstage episode for every episode. We won't be doing one this time. We basically just did it. This is kind of how it goes, guys. The show will end. We talk about what happened in the show, where we got lost, what clips, what was funny, what we didn't understand, and then we end up in some random conversations. This was literally the last 10 minutes is exactly what the backstage episode would have been. So to see, and we did
And
put
then
up
you
the
get Pepita coughing.
yes, and we put up the first backstage, which is a little more background on Maria and I, and how we kind of got into this. And it's not as informational. It's still really fun, and me ripping on my lack of acting ability, and Maria talking about some commercials she was in and stuff like that. So you guys can go over to Patreon. There's a free section there. You don't have to subscribe. It's just one of the many places we put all the community posts, because we want people to be wherever they're comfortable, so we can start building the community and having these discussions. So any hypotheticals or photos or anything that we brought up will be on Facebook, on Twitter, in the YouTube community section, and over on Patreon in the free section. You guys don't have to sign up for anything. But we put the first episode of Backstage there that everybody can see for free. So hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope there wasn't too many video hiccups with my power stuff here. And guys, thank you again so much for watching. We love having you guys here, and we will see you next time.
Bye.